Acting Chair Pfaff, you may begin.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this meeting to order at, well, it's about 7:03 on Monday, May 23rd, 2022. This is the City of Burlingame Planning Commission meeting. For all of those in attendance today, please note that the Planning Commission meeting is being held using the Zoom webinar format, so you will see that the planning commissioners and staff are panelists. Please note that there are several ways to submit comments during this meeting. You may raise your hand in Zoom by clicking on the raise hand button located at the bottom of your screen. Members of the public who are participating in the Zoom webinar by phone can dial *9 and to raise a hand. You may also send your comments by email to publiccomment@burlingame.org. Our staff will be monitoring emails submitted during the meeting, which will be read at the appropriate time. The length of the emailed comment should be commensurate with the 3 minutes customarily allowed for verbal comments. If you are an applicant or an applicant's representative, I will ask you to raise your hand when your agenda item is up for a discussion so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. We ask that you also turn on your video at that time so we can have a more clear communication, simulating the experience we would have if we were meeting in person. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube and will be uploaded to the city's website after the meeting. So I'm going to first do roll call, and I believe that we are all present except for Commissioner Gall. And did Commissioner Schmidt come yet? No. Okay. So we are missing 2 commissioners.
Actually, sorry, Acting Chair Pfaff, also Commissioner Camarado is absent this evening.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Okay.
Right.
So yes, Commissioner Camarado. So we're missing three of them. Next is we have the meeting minutes to review and approve this evening from the minutes of 2 weeks ago, which I'm sorry, I do not have. Which
Monday, May 9th.
May 9th. Sorry about that. May 9th, 2022. And I would like to ask the group here, the commissioners, if anybody has any comments, changes, discussions regarding those minutes. I don't know that I see any. And so may I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes from the, sorry, I have them here. The May 9th Planning Commission meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you very much. Motion and a second. Motion from Commissioner Say and a second from Commissioner Horan. And so those, I appreciate those are approved.
Let me just, I'm sorry, just for formality, let me go ahead and do the roll call so that each person can act on that motion.
Okay.
Commissioner Horan.
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal.
Aye.
Commissioner Say.
Aye.
And Acting Chair Pfaff.
Hi. Okay, now moving on to agenda item. Oh, so I'm supposed to say motion passes 4-3.
4003.
4003. Okay. Thank you. Agenda item. The approval of the agenda is number 4. Do we have staff? Do we have any changes to our agenda this evening? And do we have any recusals?
We do not have any changes to the agenda. And if commissioners have recusals, please state so at this right now.
Great.
Hello. I was not in attendance at the March 28th meeting for item 8B 309 Chapin Lane, but I am up to speed on the minutes and the report.
Very good. Okay. Next, we have the chance for the public to speak, public comments. These are only non-agenda items. Members of the public may speak about any item not on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to suggest an item for a future Planning Commission agenda may do so during this session. The Ralph Brown Act, the state local agency open meeting law, prohibits the Planning Commission from acting on any matter that is not on the agenda. The speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please speak clearly into the microphone. I wonder if we have any members of the public who wish to speak on any item that is not on our agenda.
If there are members of the public who would like to speak on a non-agenda item, please raise your hand. I do not see any in the public comment at burlingame.org email box.
And I note that Commissioner Schmidt has joined us, so welcome. All right. So we have no public comments this evening. So we're going to move along to study items. I do not believe we have any study items this evening. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Do we have any items on, no, the consent calendar? No, do not, right? We do not have any.
That is correct.
Okay, now we're coming to the meat of the meeting. Yes, here we are at agenda item 8, regular action items. So we're going to first start with agenda item 1, or is it A? If you are the applicant or applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. The item is 1928 Devereux Drive. Were any commissioners not able to, do I say that now? Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? I don't think anybody had announced that beforehand, so we're good to go. Let the record show that all commissioners present have visited the project site. So can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes. The proposed project involves a major remodel and second-story addition to the existing dwelling at 1928 Devereux Drive. The Planning Commission first reviewed this application at a design review study meeting on February 28th of 2022. The Commission had several concerns and suggestions, and the applicant returned with a revised application on March 14th. At that meeting, the Commission referred the application to a design review consultant to help resolve issues that still needed to be addressed. The design review consultant met with the architect and the property owner to review the proposal and go over the Planning Commission's comments, and the plans have been revised accordingly. The design review consultant's assessment is included with the staff report, and in summary, the consultant believes the revised design has been simplified and will be more compatible with the neighborhood. As noted in the consultant's letter, he can support the project as now proposed. In summary, the application is for a first and second story addition to an existing single unit dwelling. As this is the first item on the agenda, I'll provide direction that applies to this application as well as others in section 8 of the agenda, these action items. The Planning Commission should conduct a public hearing on the application and consider public testimony and the analysis contained within the staff report. Action should include specific findings supporting the Planning Commission's decision and should be affirmed by resolution of the Planning Commission. The reasons for any action should be stated clearly for the record. Suggested findings as well as conditions of approval have been provided in each staff report. So with that, the next step is to open the public hearing and hear from the applicant as well as any members of the public. But first, before that, I am available for questions of staff.
Do we have any questions, colleagues?
Just a comment. I want to just state for the record, I wasn't a commissioner on the previous two reviews, but I did listen to the Zoom replay, so I feel like I'm up to speed on the issues.
Great. Okay, any other comments or questions? So, all right.
Same would go for me as well. Same, Commissioner Horan are in the same boat. We both were not present for the original meeting, but I have had the chance to review the minutes and watch the video.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much. So with that, we're going to open the public hearing and welcome the applicant.
Hi.
Hi,
Good evening.
good evening.
I'm the architect of this project. I'm not sure if the owner gonna join the meeting because that's Michael. I'm not sure, but yeah. After the last round of the design review, the commissioners raised a couple of the questions and mentioned that this project needs the help from the design review consultant, and then under the instruction of Randy, we made a lot of adjustments to the both the floor plans and the exterior elevations. Mainly, we want to simplify the elevations. For example, the front elevation, we removed the stone veneer and also simplifies the porch columns, which actually changed the proportion and the thank you. You can see the front elevation, and actually we also changed the texture of the old gables. Previously, that's the kind of a pen board and batten, that kind of texture. Then we change it to old horizontal sidings. This applies to all the elevations. Actually, mainly the previous one of the previous major concern from the commissioners are actually the windows, the window trims, and the window proportions. So we already changed all the window trims to be 1x4. And could you please go to actually the north elevation? We made actually the major relayout, the both of the two bathrooms on the second floor. The purpose is to get rid of the high windows and high window sills. So you can see this is the north elevation, and if you can turn to the south elevation, the south elevation, you can see that right now we have no any high windows. We got this by make some adjustment of the bathroom layout. So currently all the second story windows are regular windows with regular window seal. This make the elevations improved a lot. Actually another major concern from the commissioners are the south elevation. How to separate this ground floor and the second floor to get the better proportion and make the to get rid of to downgrade the scale. Actually the previous two rounds of the comments are all about that. Then the major changes are, for this round, we removed the existing wood deck on the south elevation. Previously, you can see that the entry, that's the second entry. Previously, they have an existing wood deck. Previously, the owner wants to keep that, but not that critical. So after the last round comments, we decided, okay, just get rid of it to make everything new. And then under the instruction of our design review consultant, we add a new porch to the secondary entry. So you can see, actually, this porch can correspond to the main entry porch. We use the same language as the same roof details and the same columns and the concrete steps. So this can, corresponds to the main entry. Another change is, as you can see, currently on the left side of the entry, the French door, all the 3 windows are currently on the same size. Previously, the windows right next to the entry, it's a little bit bigger. That's we make it the same to keep it kind of the same thing, make it to improve the elevation. And another thing we did is to add a belly band to separate the ground floor and the second floor. You can see that's 2 by 12. It's going to be a horizontal band to further actually accept the new entry porch to further separate the 2 stories. And plus, we made the adjustments to the second story windows for the bathroom, master bathroom upstairs. So you can see currently this is much more comfortable compared to the previous version. That's the major adjustment we did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the detail. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Do any members of the public want to speak about this item?
There are some questions, Acting Chair Pfaff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not looking at the right? I'm maybe not looking at the right.
The hands
Oh,
are kind of
I'm
slow.
so sorry. I didn't mean to leave you out. Please, Commissioner Schmidt, you have a question.
Yeah. So on sheet A3, there looks to be a stray note that the stone veneer, there's a note pointer, but no stone veneer. And in your introduction, you mentioned that you're removing the stone veneer. So I'm assuming that should be removed too, correct?
Sorry.
No worries.
I
I just want to make sure that we have everything
removed
covered so that when we go forward, we're all crystal clear what you're going to do. The other question I have, the columns, the 2 in the front and the 1 in the back, are those going to be square or are those going to be round columns?
Square.
Okay. And then over the entry porch, it says real beam wrapped with finished material. What are we planning to do there?
We want to use the real wood to make.
Okay, so just a wood beam.
Correct.
It'll be painted.
Okay, got it. So let's, you'll just want to make sure that those are cleaned up when you go in so that everybody's clear.
Yeah.
One more on sheet A4, on the south elevation. I like the addition of the belly band, great. But then how does it finish on the left corner as it turns and goes around the back?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you can see the west elevation. It's a kind of a triangle. Yeah.
Oh, I see. It looks like
band,
it looks like a dimension leader.
Oh yeah, it's merged with the dimension lines. Yeah, but they do turn the corner.
Okay.
To hit the roof of the small roof. Yeah.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure that endpoint was thought out.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. That's all.
Thank you.
All right, great questions. Those were helpful. Commissioner Tsay.
Yes, thank you. Just one quick question. So previously, or in your original submission, there was a ramp coming off of that rear deck.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the existing wood ramp. So we are decided to remove that. Yeah.
Okay. My question was just that you wanted to make sure there wasn't some need for handicap purposes to have a ramp. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. And Commissioner Lowenthal.
Yeah, it's more of a comment question, but on the east elevation, you still have the indication of a stone veneer, and I know that's not the intention, but since
Yeah. Sorry
anyway.
about that.
Yeah, that's okay. I just, like I said, we want to be sure we're thorough on it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm happy with it.
Okay, and so next I'm going to move to any members of the public who would like to speak about this item. So how do I see if there's a member of the public? I'm not really sure where to look.
So there will be a hand over where it says attendees over on the participants side, or we can let you know. I don't see any hands up right now. If there were, we would let them in. So
Okay.
there are no hands. And then the other thing we do is we check the email
Oh.
inbox, and that's something I do. And there are no emails for this item to read out.
Okay, that's great. Just a heads up, I don't mean to leave anyone out. There was something wrong with my computer and it's on extreme bright. So I can't see against people's white background. That's why I didn't see the hands. So if I mess up, please say something. Okay, thank you. Then I'm going to close the public hearing. So commissioners, do we have some comments or motions or any comments? Start with that. Yes, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, I think overall the changes that have been recommended are good. I think we just want to get some cleanup on the elevations to make sure that they match so that when it goes forward, everybody's clear on what needs to be done. I think the window proportions improved, that south elevation improved. So I think overall it's moved forward and did what we hoped it would do through the help. So anyway, thanks.
Great. Commissioner Say.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think also this project has come a nice way moving forward. Appreciate the applicant working with a design review consultant and listening to our comments and advice. And I think it's a nice and nicely arranged elevations. I think the bathroom floor plan rearrangements have improved the window arrangements markedly. So I think it's a nice job overall. I think this is ready to move forward to action. And if I just could add one little tip to Acting Chair Pfaff, if you go to the bottom of your screen and you click that participants square.
Yes.
You can then see to your right somewhere, you'll see all the participants listed, panelists and the public. And then you can see when we raise our hands, you'll see our hands. Like I'll demonstrate now. Do you see my hands on it? So that's what you can look for.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Okay, thank you. Kind of a little overwhelmed. So very good. Thank you for that tip. And I just wanted to add about this project to thank the applicant and the design consultant. Or this has come really full circle. I think it's a really nice looking project, definitely worth everyone's time, and really appreciate that you took our comments seriously. And it's just such an improvement all around. So thank you. I guess I'm looking for a motion then. Okay, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, so I will move that we approve this project per the staff report.
Second that motion.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Schmidt, seconded by Commissioner Say. All those in favor? Aye.
So let me do a roll call just for that way we can track everybody.
Okay.
Commissioner Horan.
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal.
Aye.
Commissioner Schmidt.
Aye.
Commissioner Say.
Aye.
And Acting Chair Pfaff.
Aye. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So thank you, applicant. So now we're going to move on to
Acting Chair Pfaff, since that was an action, we do have to read the appeal language.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go.
No problem.
Sorry. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. And then I can say congratulations, right? Okay, thank you so much. So now I'm going to move on to agenda item B, 1132 Killarney Lane. So, be patient. Okay. First of all, if you are, no, not that. If you are the, no, do I do this? If you are the applicant or applicants, no, I first have to have the staff introduce it, right? Yes.
You can invite the applicant to raise their hand. That allows us to prepare while the staff, and then Senior Planner Lewitt will provide the staff report.
Okay, I gotcha. If you are the applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask you to turn on your video at that time. So were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? I don't think we had any recusals, so, right. Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited this site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, the site has an existing two-story single-unit dwelling and attached garage. The applicant is proposing to remodel the interior of the first floor, expand the front covered porch, and add to the second floor. The existing single-car attached garage provides the required covered parking for the proposed project, and the second required uncovered parking space is provided in the driveway. This project went forward for a design review study meeting on March 14 of this year, and the applicant has submitted a response letter and revised plans to address the comments made by the commission at that hearing. There are suggested findings for design review provided in the staff report, and I'm available for questions of staff.
Okay, do we have any questions of staff? No. Okay, and do we have, I'm going to open the public hearing, and would the applicant please come forward and state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project. Mr.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Mr. Criscolo? Am I saying that right?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, welcome.
Hi, my name is Joe Sable. I'm from Arrow 11 Design. I have Bob and Diane, the owners, here as well with me. So I'm here to answer any questions on the project. I just wanted to note one item that was omitted on the summary list is that we did revise the side elevation to incorporate the suggestion of the massing of the fireplace. And that wasn't mentioned in the letter, but it's obviously on the plans, but thank you.
Okay, very good. Do any commissioners have any, well, we already asked for questions of the applicant, I think. Do we have any members of the public who would like to speak about this item? I am looking here and I don't see anybody. So I'm going to assume.
And I don't see, there are no emails received for this application.
Okay, very good. So then I'm going to close the public hearing, So commissioners, do we have any comments? No, okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, no, I think the project looks good. I think that they followed through on the suggestions and got some consistency on the trims and the windows and items. And kind of bringing the rear slider doors more into scale with the elevation. So I think that they did a good job of listening and following through.
Super. Okay, any other comments? No, completely agree. Particularly that back window looks, that just made a huge difference, just huge. So that was great. Thank you so much for listening to that and taking that suggestion. So then do we have any motions on motions on this? Yes, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve this project per the staff report.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, great. So that is a motion by Commissioner Schmidt, and I'm sorry, I missed you. Was it Commissioner Lowenthal that made that second?
Correct.
Yes, okay, sorry about that. So then are we doing a roll call then? Okay.
Yes. Commissioner Horan,
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
and Acting Chair Foth.
Aye. Okay, that means the motion is unanimous, and it is, oh boy, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0. Yes, 5, 0, 0. Okay. Thank you very much. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. Okay, thank you very much. Now we're going to move along to item C. It's 1223 Balboa Avenue. If you are the applicant or the applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? No. Okay. We have no recusals, so let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing dwelling and garage at 1273 Balboa Avenue with a new 2-story single unit dwelling and detached garage. This project includes, and I'm sorry, not including the detached garage. The project includes an attached accessory dwelling unit or ADU within the main dwelling. Let me back up again. I'm getting two things mixed up. So they are proposing a 2-story single unit dwelling and detached garage. And this project includes an attached accessory dwelling unit or ADU within the main dwelling. Under state law, review of the ADU application is administrative only and is not reviewed by the Planning Commission. Staff has determined that the ADU complies with the ADU regulations as found in Code Section 25.48.030 of the Burlingame Municipal Code. As such, it should not be discussed specifically as part of the design review. In summary, the applicant is requesting design review for a new 2-story single unit dwelling and detached garage. the applicant is in attendance to speak on the project, but first I'm available for questions of staff.
Okay, are there any questions of staff? All right, seeing none. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
Hi, my name is Peter Swen. I'm the architect for 1273 Balboa. After the last meeting, we met with the design consultant. She had a list of very helpful suggestions and recommendations. We've adopted every single one of them and also proposed a few additional changes as well. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay. I'm opening up to the group. Are there any questions? Oh, wait a minute. Any questions of the applicant? Commissioner Say.
Yes, thank you. Just to clarify, so the new roof material is a real cedar wood shake roof or a faux wood shake roof?
We're suggesting a real cedar shake roof.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question, but I want to make sure everybody else went. No, okay, then I have some, I do have some landscape questions. I noticed some changes you made, which are mainly good, but if I'm not mistaken, you have 2 live oaks in the front of the house. And I would just like to suggest that 2 live oaks in that space is probably going to be, it's not going to be enough space right next to each other like that. So frankly, I don't know if you have a landscaper, but I think it might be better to just have one there and put the one back where you had it originally in the backyard. Do you remember last time you had, unless I'm mistaken, the live oak started in the backyard and it was together with a transplanted orange. And I think it would be better to do it that way and give everything space. And then that very small, that type of myrtle, I've forgotten its name, but the one that you have in there that is a small tree, maybe you want to think about either putting that in the back or you can put it on the other side of your house on the right hand, well, looking at the house on the right hand side, because it's very small and it won't block the windows or anything. It might be kind of a nice look. It is a pretty big house still, and I think it might be kind of help make it feel like established. So
yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Unless I remember incorrectly, we had the live oak in the back in the first version.
That's right.
And I believe I heard a comment that from one of the commissioners that the oak would be more prominent in the front with the other live oak as well. That's why we changed it. But we'd be happy to move it back.
Yeah, no,
either way is fine.
It was probably my comment and it was probably confused, but the one in the front and the one in the back would be really nice. It's just 2 together on that side. You can ask your landscaper, of course, but I think it's probably, they can be really big and,
yes,
you want it to affect your house at some point. So that might be great.
Yeah, that was our original concern too. But just to be clear, did I hear you say that you would recommend that second live oak in the front, which is on the opposite side? Is that what I heard?
No, just where you have it, but you have at least on my plans, and maybe it's actually not written correctly. I kept on reading it. It looks like on my updated version, I have 2 live oaks right in a row on the left-hand side of the house. And maybe that's a mistake. I don't know. So I was thinking 1 would be great. And then to stick the one on the back. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that was correct. Yeah. And again, we had moved that because just because I thought that I heard a commissioner say from the last meeting that the second live oak would be more prominent in the front as well.
Yeah,
At least,
no,
yeah.
oh, no, it's one in the back, one in the front's good because it's a big house and it's an evergreen and mainly evergreen. And so you're providing some privacy to your neighbors as well. So, yeah, so that's what I would recommend. And there was that little, for some reason, must because it's such a little tree, but the other tree you had in here that you put it then in the backyard. It was here before as well, but it, you might want to put that on the right-hand side of the house instead of, in this little area, depending on where the orange ends up. It's just a suggestion, but.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's pretty much, those were my questions. I think we were at questions, right? Or were we comments? Can't remember. Yeah.
Still at questions here.
Still at questions. Okay, then let me go to Commissioner Lowenthal, please.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to echo Commissioner Say's question about the cedar wood shake roof. You answered that. I also noticed you have natural materials on the siding for the board and batten. Is there any thought process there of why you've decided to go all natural materials as opposed to more synthetic?
That's more of my design aesthetic, is always to go with the natural materials, as long as they are maintained properly and used properly. I find that they are a lot more appealing. They patina over time. They are obviously a natural material without having any harmful synthetics. But it's also okay if the homeowner prefers something that is more easy to maintain, like a hardy or something like that. We're open to that as well. We had suggested more traditional board and batten siding, and also wood shakes, and the homeowners were they like that idea. So yeah.
I appreciate that. In my experience as a contractor, you hit the nail on the head. The upkeep of real wood materials is very challenging. And this homeowner may be up to the task, but of course this home is going to sit there for a long time. And in my experience, I've seen the real wood board and batten siding deteriorate faster than most other materials. And that would be my only condition. It's a beautiful home, especially in this rendering. I'm very excited for it. I'm just a little concerned about using natural materials on the entire cladding. That's my questions.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Commissioner Schmidt.
Great, thank you. I appreciate the 3D rendering. Unfortunately, it wasn't in our package that we received ahead of time, so I'm just seeing this now for the first time. So one of my questions is in the front where you have the landscaping right in front of the house and you've got the board and batten going down to the ground, pretty much. Is there any reason you haven't thought about doing a stone base or something like that that'll wear better down there? Because with the sprinklers and everything else, that wood's gonna rot even faster.
We've never played with an iteration where there was a stone band at the bottom. Of course, the wood siding needs to be held off of the grade at an appropriate height. Of course, that rendering is not meant to show that the landscaping is directly on the wood, which you're definitely correct. That would definitely increase the rot and the wear and tear of that siding. It's going to be held off, obviously, with proper drainage, but we feel like with the style of the house, with a natural kind of siding, that stone just wasn't really, because if you start to wrap that around, essentially you're bringing it all the way. I think you would bring it all the way around the deep side, and termination would be always an issue.
Agreed. It is a tough stop, but I also feel like you're just going to get a lot of water and dirt from your irrigation on there. So, okay, thanks. That was my question.
All right, I'm looking for any more questions from the group, and I do not see any, so I'm going to go to the public. Do we have any members of the public who would like to speak about this item? Any emails or anybody?
No emails on this item.
Okay, very good. Then I'm going to close the public hearing. So colleagues, what, you have any comments or motions or? Yes, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah. I feel it has gotten better. The rendering does a lot more than the elevations and the 3Ds on the front page to try and give it some character, because otherwise it looks like a flat box. So I appreciate the effort being put into those. And that helps quite a bit in selling this design. I still feel like there's a lot of things that are just square and just not very exciting to it. The columns are just square and there's no base, there's nothing to them. So I think that there could be more done with this to dress it up, but we are where we are. So thanks.
Anyone else? Commissioner Say.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to bring up again a little bit of concern of the real shake roof, real wood shake roof. I don't know if I see that much as an application these days, especially here, in California, where we're always threatened by fire and many seasons of the year now, not just the summer. I know this particular street and the neighborhood is not overly wooded and heavily lined with trees, but I would just suggest that maybe the applicant take a look at that. There are many faux shake roof products out there that look like real wood and may better serve the house and protect the house in future years.
I just have a comment. I'm not positive, but in the old days in this city, I think the shake roofs, real shake had to have fire retardant, which it's all chemicals, but it seems to me there's some rule about that in the city, in the building department, but not positive. So,
yeah, I think it needs to be a Class A roof, and there may be products like that. I just myself haven't specified a real wood roofing material in a long time, just for fear of fire and as well as our natural resources. But there could be certainly a Class A roof that's a real wood shake roof.
Okay, so well, I think I mean it's little things, but I think I do think it's been improved pretty significantly as far as the front, the doors, the changes from these floor to ceiling, or actually with these enormous well, then the big door, the big windows in the front, or they were actually, I think they opened and closed doors. So I think it's an improvement, and I like the corbels. Kind of wish there were more, but I think it's been vastly improved, and just hope they can keep everything up. And I don't know if I'm allowed to make a motion as the chair. It's like, or in the Historical Society, we don't do that. So can I ask do we have any consensus? Commissioner Schmidt?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the project for the staff report and as drawn.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
I would just like to add, if the comments, if it's okay with everybody here, if we can agree, the comments about the large tree being kind of one in the front, one in the back, not both together, because I see a problem there as well. Can I include that? Is that something of agreement?
I would agree to include that.
Okay, I know that there was some finishing at the bottom that people were concerned about, but I guess we're going to leave that to the owners to be concerned about, or at least it's on the radar, and they can maybe there's a finished piece, I think, or some kind of verbiage that was used, rain thing, or I don't know what the proper word is, but it was some kind of finished piece on the bottom. So to keep a guard, some kind of guard. So hopefully that will be helpful. So then I'm going to, we have a motion. I'm sorry, who was the second? Did we have a second?
I seconded, but maybe somebody else beat me to it. I'm not sure. Otherwise, I'm happy to be the second.
Okay, you're going to be the second tonight. Okay, then we can perhaps we can have a roll call vote about this.
Yes. Commissioner Horan.
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal.
Aye.
Commissioner Schmidt.
Aye.
Commissioner Say.
Aye.
And Acting Chair Foff.
Aye. Congratulations. So this, an action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 o'clock on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. That brings us to, excuse me one moment. That brings us to item D, 2201 Hillside Drive. Okay. If you are the applicant or the applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Anybody? Okay, I don't think we have anybody. So we don't have any recusals. Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, the site, excuse me, the site is a corner lot at the intersection of Hillside Drive and DeSoto Avenue. The applicant is proposing first floor additions to the existing house, some of which will have plate heights that exceed 9 feet, which requires design review. The applicant is requesting a front setback variance to the first floor addition that faces Hillside Drive. The closest proposed wall is 15 feet 4 inches, where 21 feet 1 inch is the average of the block and is the required setback. This application includes a new attached accessory dwelling unit. Staff has reviewed the ADU for conformance with ADU requirements and determined that it meets the standards for ministerial approval. This project was before the Planning Commission for design review study on January 24th, 2022. To address the concerns that were expressed by some commissioners about the requested setback variance, the applicant revised the plans and provided additional variance justifications in a response letter. The applicant also clarified the existing and proposed tree locations and had renderings prepared to show the design perspective from both the street frontages. The staff report lists the required findings for variances and suggested findings for both design review and for the front setback variance. This concludes the staff report for the project, and I'm available for questions.
Okay, do my colleagues have any questions for staff? Yes, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yes, I have a question on the setbacks. Seeing how they are switching the entry of the house from Hillside to DeSoto, do the Hillside setbacks remain the front and that they need to comply with the average on Hillside as a front setback? Or should they be complying on DeSoto as a front setback?
It's a very good question. Under the more recent code that was adopted in January, they could switch the frontage. But in fact, this was submitted so long ago that they're subject to the old code, and it requires that the narrow side of the lot be considered the front, no matter where the entrance is located.
Okay.
And in any case, their entry along DeSoto is only, the entries there are even less, so they need a variance on that side as well. Even under new code.
Yeah. I understand. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good questions. Anyone else? Don't see anyone else. So, okay. Then do we have any? Oh, wait, I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
Hi, yes, I do. James Chu, Chu Design Associates. So from the last meeting, the commissioner obviously cannot support and find the finding for the variance and asked us to revisit the design, especially the corner of this proposed addition, by asking us to revisit the material transition, the landscaping, and also provide color rendering. So we did all that. We also spoke to our neighbors to seek their approval, and we all have supportive comment from our neighbors. With that said, by not granting the variance application, we will be forced to add a second story from Hillside or 3-story from DeSoto, which actually will look very massive. This addition is very modest, and even though there's only a little bit over 15 feet setback from property line, but it's actually about 30 feet plus from the street, Hillside. We hope you agree, or actually, I hope you like the project, and grant the variance and approve the project. I'd like to answer the question you may have.
Yeah, are there any questions for Mr. Chu? I don't see any questions. So do we have any
Chair
members?
Pfaff, I think we do have one.
Oh, I'm
question by
so
Commissioner
sorry. Commissioner Horn.
Thank you. Just a clarifying question for your left side elevation. The stairs on the far left, where do they lead to? Because it's a pretty massive double staircase, so I'm not clear what the left side of that is accessing.
Is access to the ADU.
It's a double staircase. So do you need both sides of that staircase?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My kid is knocking on my door. What do you mean by double staircase? I mean, there's 2 staircases from DeSoto. One is leading to the front door of the main house, and the second staircase is for the ADU.
So it's this to the left side of that staircase. Where do those steps go to?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
yard at the rear.
Okay, so it gets you around the back of the house.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have another question from Commissioner Lowenthal.
Yeah, on the front left side elevation sides, when you have a wood lattice underneath the lower balcony, what is that lattice covering?
A crawl space under the balcony.
Okay, so that's going to be enclosed on both sides with
Correct.
lattice?
Yes.
Okay. And lattice material, what was the thought process there as far as using that as a material?
I mean, it could be wood, it could be metal, stainless. It's just something to cover the space under the balcony.
Is there any reason why you didn't just continue the wood siding?
We could.
I'm just looking at that elevation. You have several different finishes going on with the stucco, the wood siding, the lattice, the metal railings, and of course the different roof materials with metal roof over the window, and then the
right,
the shingle on top.
Right. I see your point, Commissioner. We could definitely cover with siding and make it complete enclosed.
Okay.
I look better, more consistent. Thank you.
I guess, let's see, is there anyone, I have a question that just occurred to me after Commissioner Horn asked his. I wonder, Ruben or Erica, could you put up the image of the stairways, the multiple stairways we saw at the, I don't know what page it is. Yes. So, well, that's really an intriguing question. So, is there any other way to get? Is the issue that if that staircase that is I'm going to call it the one at the far left, if that were not there and just ended at the top, is there another way to get to isn't there a door, like another way to get to the yard or something through the house?
No.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's a pre-existing condition that we have.
I understand.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, thank you very much. So let's see. Then I don't see any more from this group. I would like to ask if there are any members of the, did I already do that? Any members of the public?
We haven't gone to the public yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, then I would like to ask if there are any members of the public who would like to speak on this item. Have we received any emails or or is anyone there in the public who would like to say something?
No emails for this application.
Okay, very good. Then I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, do we have some comments, conclusion? So, Commissioner Say.
Thank you. Yes, so first of all, I want to say that I appreciate that this project is working with an existing home and adding breadth to the home without automatically adding a second floor to a already fairly tall site. And so I understand when James, talking about that this is a very modest addition. On this front elevation, it looks really long and large, but as we know, the the part to the left is actually an ADU. It's outside of our purview for discussion here. I do want to say that I appreciate the further setback from the DeSoto side of the right side of that front elevation. Well, I don't know if it's the front elevation, the DeSoto side front elevation. And also appreciate that the massing has been adjusted on the hillside side elevation, where before I think it was a transition of materials along the same plane, but now I think it's much richer as an actual pronounced change in massing on that elevation, along with the change of materials. I think is quite a drastic improvement, actually. So I appreciate the changes. I think this is a nicely designed home and tasteful and in size, and can see approving this and moving this forward.
Okay, now I'm just going to finish with some other comments. First, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yes, I too, I think that the renderings help bring out the richness of this home. And I do appreciate the addition as opposed to a knockdown. My struggle with this, and as it was before, is that I'm not, the compelling reason for the variance is not there for me. Because really it's just to add square footage. And I don't know that that's a compelling reason for the variance. And we have front setbacks for that reason. And so that's my struggle. Otherwise, I think it's a good looking project.
Okay, and I'm moving along to Commissioner Horan.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good looking project. I still just have a problem with those stairs on the left side of that left elevation. It seems a lot. And I think there is a way to fix that by just eliminating the left side and flipping the stairs on the right, because then the landing provides the access to the side yard. So I would just make a comment for the architect to look at that, because right now it's a lot of stairs to access that ADU.
Am I missing anybody? Yeah, that is very interesting thought there about the stairs. Maybe that's something that can be considered, just flipping them. It's because it's so close to the street. There's just everything. It's definitely improved, but it does look quite prominent. And so where do we go from here? So maybe we should try. Did I get everybody, first of all, who wanted to speak? I think so. Should we try for a motion from somebody?
Chair Pfaff, I did want to note really quick, we should talk a little bit about the required findings for the variance, whether the other commissioners are able. We did hear from Commissioner Schmidt, but we haven't heard from the others about whether that variance is there, because that should be a part of the motion, is that we can make those required findings.
So we have, it's at this point, it's the setback variance. Is there another one? That's it, just the setback variance? Okay, so we have one commissioner who has indicated he's having trouble finding that. So can I have some other comments, or is there anybody feel similarly? I have trouble with it too, but it is a modest addition. I do appreciate that it's on a corner and that it's a structure that's being largely reused. It sure would be nice if the stairs, to me, because they're so close and they're so busy, that sure would be nice to be able to, if that's a possibility, to flip them. I don't know the proper protocol. Oh, good. We have hands. Yay. Somebody help me here. Let's try Commissioner Lowenthal.
Okay. Welcome to try my help. Huh? I don't disagree at all with my fellow commissioners. I mean, Commissioner Horan has a great point. It doesn't bother me as much. I totally understand his point. I don't know if it's enough for me not to move this forward. The variance, though, I also agree with Commissioner Schmidt. I don't know if I see it. The real reason why I would approve it for this is because of the lot location. It's a tough lot. It's on a very busy street, as we all know. And it doesn't bother me that variance is on one of the busier streets in Burlingame. So to me, I think that's enough of it. I agree about the square footage reasoning. It doesn't do it for me, but I think given everything as a whole, I'd be willing to move forward with it. I'll let Commissioner Horan speak, and then I can make a motion.
All right, Commissioner Horan, please, you're next.
Yeah, basically, I agree with Commissioner Lowenthal. I think the lot is unusual. I think the solution is pretty clever to keep it a renovation and a one-story from the street. So that would be the basis for me finding in favor of the variance.
And Commissioner Say, do you have?
Yes. Thank you. And I was just to mention too for you, it looks like the applicant is raising his hand to maybe come back in for the discussion. I don't know.
Got it.
I don't know if we can do that or if you want to bring them back in. But I'll just make my comment on is there's the dimensions were not provided in the plans, but I was just scaling off the plans and it looks like it's another 3.5 feet beyond the current existing front facade of the side on Hillside for that bedroom number 4, which looks to me set up to be like a primary suite. And so it's not an extensive front expansion that would prevent me from approving this and moving forward. With that being said, it is a fairly large size bedroom for Burlingame standards, at least. And I don't know if it would be acceptable to my fellow commissioners, and that if the room was brought in a little bit smaller in its width, I think it's 14.6 left to right, if we're looking at the plans. And maybe if it was reduced in width a little bit, although it is being set up as a primary suite, that might be a little bit more acceptable to Commissioner Schmidt or others. But anyway, I think it's, I would much more be willing to accept this than a second story addition that would create a much larger home on that street corner.
All right. I wonder if, thank you very much. I wonder if I could possibly open this up to Mr. Chu.
Yes, Chair Pfaff, you are able to, that's completely within your purview to reopen the public hearing. If we do reopen it, we'll reopen it to everyone in the public to give them another opportunity to speak. I will note that just some of the things we've talked about here, potentially we had Commissioner Lowenthal talking a little bit about the siding. We had the talk about the stairway entrances at different portions of the property. If those changes were to be made, we'd want to include them as part of a motion. So I think one thing, if you do reopen the public hearing here, is to speak quickly to the applicant to make sure that they would be okay with this, because what we don't want to do is make a motion incorporating changes that they would not want as part of their project, because that could potentially affect the right to appeal and other things as well.
Okay, so you're saying I can open it with, if
Yes.
everyone thinks that's okay, but we're gonna pull it in to restrict the conversation about the stair and the size of the room kind of thing?
No, you can absolutely talk about anything you'd like. I just wanted to note that if you do have kind of these larger changes that you were considering making, you may want to ask the applicant how they feel about those changes,
Okay,
just to have an understanding about whether that's something they'd even want to do.
got it. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then with that, I'm going to open up the public hearing again, and can we please have the applicant again? Hi, James, you can talk again.
Thank you so much, City Attorney. So we definitely will revisit the funny staircase, I want to call it now, to perhaps design it so the landing will go to the yard at the rear, and so it will look like one staircase. We also will consider changing the material under the balcony to siding, so a better fit with the design. But I will respectfully disagree with the reducing the room size of the master, because that will be the main master for the house. So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you for the thoughtfully thinking of that. And so I guess I need to first deal with the variance, right? So
well, now, Chair Pfaff, we'll just go to make sure that there's no other people in the public who'd like to speak, and then you can close the public hearing.
Sorry, mea culpa. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak, or are there any emails that have come in the meanwhile?
No emails.
Okay. And I think we're good. Then, all right, very good. I'm going to close the public hearing. So, colleagues. Oh, no, Commissioner Lowenthal. Yes.
I was going to make a motion to approve based on the variance as written and to also incorporate the staircase redesign that the architect said they would do. I would approve that as stated and move to approve.
So,
Commissioner Lowenthal, just to clarify, are you looking for an FYI on the staircases and the potential siding there?
That's right. Yes. Yes, an FYI, yes.
So we're talking about, so you're having me combine the variance is not going to be a separate item. I'm supposed to do everything together.
Yes. So we have to make the findings for the variance to be able to approve the project. So I believe Commissioner Lowenthal's motion was to approve the project and that he can make the findings pursuant to the staff report, and including the other additional staircase and potential siding part of the motion. And then we would need a second to that, and then discussion and a vote.
A second.
Very good. So that is a motion made by Commissioner Lowenthal, as he just said, because I don't want to repeat, and seconded by Commissioner Horn. Is there any additional discussion? Okay, then I guess we do a roll call vote.
Yes, Commissioner Horan.
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal.
Aye.
Commissioner Schmid.
Nay.
Commissioner Say.
Aye.
And Acting Chair Pfaff.
Aye. Okay, very good. Thank you. Oh, wait, no, got to finish that one. No, too fast. So I have, that is, so that was, the vote was.
I'll help you with this. 4102.
Thank you. 4102.
It passes, but we will need the appeal language as well.
Oh, okay. And an action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. Okay, next, we're moving on to item E, 1369 Columbus Avenue. So if you are the applicant or the applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Do I see anybody? Nope. All righty, no one announced they need to recuse, so here we go. Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, the applicant proposes to replace the existing single unit dwelling and attached garage at 1369 Columbus Avenue and build a new 2-story single unit dwelling. The applicant is requesting a special permit for building height with 33 feet, 7 inches proposed, where 30 feet is the maximum allowed without approval of a special permit. Planning staff would note that the lot slopes upwards from the front property line with the finished floor proposed at 9 feet, 6 inches above the average top of curb. The applicant is also requesting a special permit for a 9-foot plate height at the second floor master bedroom located at the rear of the house. A special permit is also being requested for a 55 square foot second story balcony at the rear of the house. This project includes building a new detached accessory dwelling unit, or ADU, at the rear of the lot. Review of the ADU application is administrative and is not reviewed by the Planning Commission. Staff has determined that the ADU complies with the ADU regulations as found in Code Section 25.48.030 of the Burlingame Municipal Code. As such, it should not be discussed specifically as part of the design review. The applicant is requesting the following applications in summary: design review for a new 2-story single unit dwelling, special permit for building height, special permit for plate height, and special permit for second floor balcony. I'll note for the record that the commission received 2 emails from neighbors on this application, one from the neighbor at 1356 Columbus and the other at 1367 Columbus. Planning manager Huron provided commissioners with responses to some of the matters raised in the 1367 Columbus email, and staff will provide a response to the 1356 Columbus email on matters regarding the accessory dwelling unit. The applicant is available to speak and answer questions in the public hearing, but first I'm available for questions of staff.
All right. Do we have any questions for staff in our group? No, I don't see any. All right. So then I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
Hi, I'm Rich Sargent. I'm here with James Chu, I think, and we're representing the homeowners, Mishti and Anuj Batra. We wanted to thank you for all your comments from the last meeting. We've made quite a few changes that I think are self-explanatory, both in the cover letter that we provided and the plan changes we made. Just one thing I did want to highlight, though, that as the staff report noted, there's a pretty severe slope on this lot. It's 10 feet from front sloping up to the back, much of it in the very beginning of the property. So we've done quite a bit to try and minimize that and the impact it has on the street. We've used a low pitch roof and we've used pretty standard plate heights, 9 foot on the first floor and 8 foot on the second floor. And we went back and made some changes based on your comments. Primarily, we looked at the porch and made that a much lighter architectural feel by changing the wall supports to columns and changing that to a modest pitched roof. So with that, I wanted to, if James doesn't have any other comments he wanted to make, I wanted to open us up to any questions that you might have.
Okay, so do any of you have any questions? I actually have one, if it's okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wait. I'll do the others first. Sorry about that. Again, this problem. Commissioner Say, first of all.
Oh, yes, thank you. Rich, I just had a couple of questions. I thought I saw somewhere that the windows have been changed from aluminum to vinyl. Is that correct?
They've been changed to vinyl clad wood, the Anderson 400 series. It's one I've used many times in the city. quite frankly, it has all the architectural details that an aluminum clad wood window has. And it's frankly unnoticeable in architectural. There's no visible difference, frankly.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that because I wasn't sure if it was meant to be the other way around from vinyl. We ordinarily see from vinyl to aluminum clad. So just wanted to clarify that, but understand your selection. And then one difference I see between the proposed front elevation and the rendering is kind of the mounting plates of that railing at the front porch. Seems to be face mounted on the drawings and top mounted on the rendering. Is there a preference on how you're going to install that railing?
There's still some construction detailing that needs to be done there, but we base whatever construction we do on the actual plans, not the rendering.
Okay, so we should assume what's on the drawing. And then any thought to, this is actually a typical Commissioner Gall comment, the chimney over at the great room, or the lack of a chimney at the great room, whether there was any thought to actually extend that fireplace box to actually appear to look more like a chimney.
Yeah, we did actually look at that, and the difficulty I always have with that is that the plane of the chimney box is that surrounding wall sits proud of the second story window or the second story wall. So there's never really an elegant solution to that I think looks good.
Oh, meaning that if you were to build that out, it would be stepping away from the second story wall.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think, one last thing. This is not in our purview. I know it's about the ADU, but since that quote unquote moment frame detail has been removed around the house, I was just wondering if you were going to apply that towards the ADU as well, just for some consistency of the design of the house to the ADU. That's just a side comment.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to look at it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So Commissioner Lowenthal, please.
Thank you. Can you help me understand on the front porch, what is that roof detail? What is that made out of? That cover that's on top of the front porch?
Well, it's a flat roof. So
push down.
We to be honest, we haven't determined anything, and I don't think it's going to be visible. I would think it would be some kind of membrane, and with the some kind of membrane.
Okay, my only concern is you have an awful lot of water that's going to be on that flat roof. It looks like you have the adjacent living room roof that's going to be dumping its water onto that. Have you thought at all about how that water is going to exit the property? I don't see any obvious downspouting or any relief there from that water accumulation.
Well, I think that's something.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Well, the roofs will be a typical torch down. It will be drained to the corner, most likely to the house, and we'll have downspout and wrap around and come down and eventually drain to a landscaping area.
Okay.
Or to answer your question, Commissioner, it's going to be torch down type of roofs, similar to commercial flat roof.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question on that same. Because I can't see it on any other drawing except for on the rendering, but I'm going to assume it's consistent with the plans. Maybe that's a mistake, but if I could just see page 2 of the rendering that was sent along to us, it's showing the side kind of at a slight angle. Yes, that one. So right where the flat, looking at the left side where the flat roof meets what must be another, like a slope of some sort, where they meet, it appears that they are on the same plane. This, I think I asked this the last time, but last time it was all pictured flat, but I'm seeing the same issue here. I'm not understanding. Is there a decision that these are on the same plane, like in a straight line, or is there a return? What is in front and what isn't? What is receding and what is which part? Or are they exactly the same? Like if you, is that a gutter? I don't really know what that is. I'm confused, and it looks to me, it looks awkward, and I'm wondering, yeah, thank you. I'm just, doesn't quite look right to me, and I'm just wondering, is that the intent?
I'm so sorry. I don't understand your questions.
Okay, maybe one of the builder people, one of the construction ones who understand better can explain it.
Because the slope pitch roof has its own gutter, and as well as the flat roof has different drainage. So they are not really connecting in a way. So again, I'm so sorry. I'm not answering your question.
Okay, it looks like the others maybe understand. I guess it doesn't look like it looks like it could be resolved better. So let's try with, I'm going to try with Commissioner Schmidt first.
Can I ask you a question? I mean,
Sure.
Does it look bad in terms of?
I think it looks bad. I think, in my opinion, maybe I'm the only one. I think it looks like something that became an afterthought. Like it just could be done. I think there must be a way to resolve it that looks more just finished or something, like less of a mistake.
We will definitely revisit that, and when we work on the construction docs and resolve that issue, and it is on the side elevation. So luckily, I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much.
Sure. Commissioner Schmidt first.
Yeah, I see your point, Acting Chair Pfaff. I think that one way that this could be resolved is actually to slope the flat roof to that gutter, and then maybe take the flat roof proud of the gutter and let the gutter align instead of being proud of it. And then you could dump your water in it. You still need to get a downspout in there. And whether you take that back to the stairwell or whether you do it down on that corner, you still need a downspout for the gutter, and you can leverage that downspout for your flat roof as well. So
yes,
I think that can clean up that transition, which is what Commissioner Pfaff is focused on.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And I think, even though I'm having trouble scrolling around here, I think, was it Commissioner Lowenthal had wait a minute, who else do we have anybody else?
I had my hand up. I was just going to offer some help. It got resolved. I had the same issue with you that you had with that flat roof. Basically, it's a flashing detail that looks like it runs into the actual gutter. So It's a very awkward detail, and it kind of piggybacks on my question of how are we going to deal with all this water on this flat roof? And I think that's clear.
Oh, okay, very good. So at least everybody sort of on the same page. So let's see. Do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? Were any comments received through email or Zoom chat?
We do have one email. So while we wait, if there are any other members of the public, I can read the email. It is signed by Richard Shostra, 1350 Columbus Avenue. It says, "Hi, we are neighbors about 4 houses south and on the opposite side of Columbus. Regarding the plans for 1369 Columbus Avenue, we understand that numerous changes have been addressed to date. For the current iteration presented to the Planning Commission, we have the following feedback. 1, the roof and columns over the front porch look like they belong on a civic public building. The homes at both 1357 and 1365 Columbus have sloping roof lines over the porches, front door entrances. This softens the porch roof connection to the house. The current design is more abrupt and jarring, making it stick out. Number 2, the ADU is a bigger question. Hopefully the city of Burlingame is gathering data on approved and in-use units to determine the overall impact on things like parking and traffic. This is more of an observation than a criticism. And again, that's signed Richard Shostra of 1350 Columbus Avenue.
Okay, you know, I did just want to say, I appreciate the, I think this is the property we got a very long email about. Yes. Of several days ago from I think it's Mr. Murray. I appreciate him writing in his comments, and I'm not sure they apply, but he's correct about the distance from the home to the first bus stop, which is on Easton at El Camino Real. He's correct about the distance being over, I think it was over half a mile. However, it's my understanding that that does not change the requirement, that they have satisfied the requirement about parking, that it is, it satisfies the requirement for the ADU and even many bedrooms, just to have a place in the driveway, which it appears they have. Otherwise, I think the staff would have told us. So, you know, that's the way, unfortunately, that's kind of the way things are. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that I think I understood his point. Anyway, that was what I wanted to say. Let's see. Did anything else come in about this home? No?
No, I think you could close the public hearing if we don't see any more hands and there are no more emails that have come in.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to close the public hearing. And commissioners, so if I'm understanding this correctly, it's a variance about the height, right?
Special permit.
Special permit. So can I have some feedback? We have sort of a consensus here, or more questions, or yeah, Commissioner. Well, first I'm going to do Commissioner Horn first. Oh, was that a mistake there?
No, I just wanted to say I think it's a good looking project. I think the sloping lot has been dealt with pretty effectively, and so the special permit is okay by me. I like the architecture. I think it's related, but also different enough to add some interest to the neighborhood. So that's my comments.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah. So I like the project. I think that the changes made has made it a lot more understandable. The 3D renderings, combined with the changes, actually made it to be a very handsome looking design. I can find for the special permit for the height, given the slope of the lot. In reality, it's actually a very small portion of the roof that's poking up above the height limit, so it's not really that impactful. I can find for the special permit on the height for the second floor over the one room. That's not actually where they're getting more height for the other special permit. So again, not really that impactful. And I don't have any issues with the second floor balcony, given where it's located in the center of the back and not to one side and overlooking the adjacent neighbor. So I can support this project.
Commissioner Say.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to thank the applicant for working hard to and listening to our comments at the last meeting. I think that the design of the house has improved quite a bit. It's no longer the house that doesn't know what it wants to be. It looks like it knows what it wants to be now. And I think it has some nice detailing. It does add a little interest to the street in variety of home styling. I can also support the special permits for building height for the little bit that is requesting that at the primary bedroom, and can also support the special permits for, sorry, where am I? For the second story balcony and the second story plate height. So, and I'd like to see this move forward. Thank you.
Okay, I did want to comment also that I appreciate the changes. One thing, whoops, I forgot to ask, so I'm not going to bother to open the public hearing, but Mr. Chu, you had promised that you would provide your landscaper with, well, information about that little tree that's remaining in the back, about what type that was. So I guess bad on me. I'm not going to open the public hearing about that, but I hope it's a decent sized tree, because any trees back there be real nice. Appreciate very much that the change to the magnolia, and I think it looks softer and better generally too. Just those little those things that could be cleaned up, I think would make a big difference, and those little details. But I think it looks definitely way more cohesive, and it knows more what it wants to be. So thank you both very much for this. So I'm going to look for a motion then, with all that language that we have to put in there.
So I'd be happy to make that motion.
Thank you.
So I move that we approve this project with the special permit for the building height, and the special permit for the plate height, and the special permit for the second floor balcony as outlined in the staff report.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we had have a motion by Commissioner Schmidt, seconded by Commissioner Say, and then we need a roll call vote.
Commissioner Horan,
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
and Acting Chair Foff.
Aye. Okay, so that will be a 5-0-0, yes? No, yes, 5-0.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And wait a minute, I've got to do my stuff here. I lost my script, one moment. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. All right, that brings us to the last regular item, which is 309 Chapin Lane. So,
Acting Chair Pfaff,
yes.
may I interrupt? I was not on I was late getting in due to IT issues, but I live within 500 feet of this particular property and must recuse myself from this hearing.
Very good. I appreciate that. And so have everybody, I'm going to hope that everyone else has visited the project site. May I have the staff report, please?
Acting Chair Pfaff, we do have Commissioner Lowenthal raising his hand, so we'll see if he has something he needs to disclose.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware that I was not here for the two meetings prior to this, but I did review the meeting notes and watch the video, and I'm fully prepared to discuss tonight.
Thank you very much. And I'm again apologize. I do have, even with Audrey, Commissioner Say's little trick, I'm having trouble tonight. So bear with me, but I think we got that all. I don't see. Yes.
Acting Chair Pfaff, and then I'll repeat as well that I stated at the beginning of the meeting that I too was not in attendance at this meeting, but am up to speed on this project.
Very good. Okay, then may we have a staff report, please?
Yes, the subject property is an interior lot with an existing 2-story single unit dwelling and a detached garage. The applicant proposes to demolish and reconfigure the rear portion of the first floor, demolish the majority of the existing second floor to rebuild and expand it. The existing detached garage will be replaced with a new detached garage at the rear left side of the lot. 3 parking spaces, 2 of which must be covered, are required for the 5-bedroom house. The required covered spaces are provided in the detached garage, and the uncovered space is provided in the driveway. This application includes a new detached accessory dwelling unit that's connected to the detached garage. Staff has reviewed the ADU for conformance with requirements and determined that it meets the standards for ministerial approval. The application request is for design review, and there are suggested findings listed in the staff report for the commissioner's reference. I can take questions at this time.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for staff? So I don't think we see any. All right, so then I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and anything else you'd like to add about the project? Hi, Tim.
Tim, I think you're muted.
Good evening. Sorry about that. Yeah, Commission. We had gone through our first review and had, just a few minor comments. I think we addressed them fairly correctly, and the owners are in attendance as well. We're here to answer any questions. Thanks.
I have questions, but I'm looking to see if any of our group, are there any questions of Tim? Yes, Commissioner Say.
Oh, yes, thank you. Just a quick question, Tim. Just a discrepancy between the front elevation and the rendering. And because it's about the boxed out windows in the office.
Correct.
Is in the rendering, it's showing boxed out on all 4 sides, like the window that's upstairs on the second floor. In the drawings, it's showing that it's built up to the underside of the eave, so it actually has a roof over it.
Correct.
Which one is it?
It would be that, correct.
For the drawings, not the rendering.
The rendering is there's a little left up to the imagination. I just do the 3D because it's so much easier for everyone to understand.
Oh yeah.
No, it is. We'll do better with the 3Ds next time.
The only reason I wanted to ask is because that window upstairs is boxed out on 4 sides, and so I wasn't sure it could have been either way, really. So I just wanted to understand. Thank you.
Okay, am I the last one remaining then? Least of our group. So I know that we had asked about landscaping, and you did provide a very, very simple schematic landscape, but it doesn't say what type of trees or anything. So I just, maybe I didn't find the right one. I couldn't find a landscape plan really. That said, it just says accent tree. That doesn't tell very much.
Correct.
Um,
I mean, we can do that as part of the approval process as an FYI if it's approved. But yeah, this is a pretty tasteful, it's a simple landscape plan. It is because it's a fairly flat lot, and yeah, we can definitely add the trees to it if needed.
Well, I think it's important because there are no street trees indicated. This needs it needs something. So that's my comment was, am I missing something, or is this just what it was? It's very
This is the concept plan of the landscape. So if it is required, we can work with the planning department and bring it back as an FYI for the trees. I mean, he is a landscape architect, and we'll do it accordingly. So sure, we can do that.
Okay, so were there any other questions of the applicant? If not, I'm going to ask if there are any members of the public who would like to speak on the item. Has anything appeared?
I am not seeing any emails for this project.
We did a very good neighborhood outreach, so we shouldn't really have any neighborhood comments. So.
Okay, then I'm going to close the public hearing. And are there comments on this design from our group? Yes, Commissioner Horan.
Yeah, again, I think this is a great project. I think the elevations, especially the side elevations, are really improved from the existing. The only thing when I visited the site and looked at the drawings, I actually like the existing front porch design better than the new front porch. It just seems more substantial, more, kind of permanent, but that's my own kind of subjective view. The new porch seems just a little bit light and almost cheaper than the existing porch. I do love that all the projects we've reviewed tonight have front porches. I think that's a really great add to the village. But I can approve the project as submitted.
Okay, I'm going to comment. Maybe it's just me. I have a problem with all of the multiple materials because I think it's cheap. It looks cheap to me. And I feel similarly to Commissioner Horan that because it doesn't know what it wants to be on the porch level and there's so much going on, to me, it just feels a little light, like it then therefore becomes top heavy. So, I do appreciate that they're working with something that's existing, and that's great, keeping a lot of it. And, it's great. They're probably trying to make it a little more exciting than it is, but it's a very calm and very forested street. So I'm having a little trouble with all the materials is the thing. And therefore, hence my comments about the vegetation, because it lives from the tree next door, which hopefully will live through this project. And I think everybody should have their own substantial vegetation. Those are my comments. So are there any other comments here?
Sure, Pfaff, should this project go forward tonight, I did want to note you made a comment earlier about the landscape plan and potentially what kind of trees could be there. It may be helpful if there is an FYI incorporated into the motion to know or to convey to the applicant what you may be looking for in that FYI, because we don't want them to submit that without having too much guidance.
Okay, so, but that will happen when the motion is made? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
you can speak to us what you would like to see there,
Okay.
and other commissioners could either choose to comment or not comment. I just want to make sure it's at least talked about so the applicant can know if an FYI is required, what you are thinking might work in that situation.
Yeah, well, so an FYI worries me a little bit, but I guess that's the way it has to be done. It worries me a little bit because, yeah, it requires more guidance, I guess, much more guidance than just throwing it out there. So, first of all, my comment would be this house lacks street trees, and they need to be. I would think they should be. Well, it's going to be whatever's allowed on the Burlingame street tree list, but I feel like it needs something kind of cohesive. Like, I wouldn't specify necessarily. I don't think it's a theme block, but as far as I'm sure that something that's not Maton, something that will become a larger tree, not something tiny. So I don't know. That's my comment. However, there is a tree indicated on the landscape plan, and I do think that should be more substantial than just depending on the redwood tree next door. So, you know, if they want, see an awful lot of maples, kind of getting sick of those, but I think something that's going to grow over, 20 feet would be nice, just to be in proportion, so that all the building, which is big now, but that the building sits in its environment. I just leave it at that. I don't think I want to get too specific. If the fellow is a landscape architect, he should be able to figure it out. But it bothers me that it's kind of just being, that this got this far without any street trees. It's very bothersome to me because this house is very busy and it needs something to pull it together. So thank you. So I'm looking for a motion. Anybody? Do I need to do it? Okay, so then this was not a special, they don't require any special, right? Okay, so thank you very much. Senior Planner Lewitt, I appreciate the help. Then I would like to make a motion to approve this home design with the predicated on an FYI that has a robust planting, very specific planting plan that comes back as an FYI. That includes street trees, and at least the one tree that's indicated on the plan that is a tree that's going to be 20 feet at least, to be in proportion to the building.
Second that.
Thank you very much. So that means I made a motion. It is seconded by Commissioner Lowenthal. Then I need a roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Horan,
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
and Acting Chair Pfaff.
Aye. Okay, that is, then we had a recusal, so it's going to be 4-1.
Be 4012.
4012. Thank you. I'm going to need help. I appreciate that. All right. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $1,075, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. All right, so that brings us to our design review study of 1829 Sebastian Drive. If you are the applicant or the applicant's representative, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? I don't think we have any recusals. I don't think that was mentioned, right? So let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, the subject property is an interior lot with 1-story single unit dwelling and attached garage. The applicant proposes a 2-story addition at the rear of the house. The proposed application requires design review and a hillside area construction permit. The code states that hillside development shall be designed to preserve existing distant views. View preservation shall be limited to obstruction of distant views to San Francisco Bay, the San Francisco Airport, and Mills Canyon from primary indoor living areas. This project is in compliance with off-street parking requirements, with the required covered parking spaces being provided in the existing attached 2-car garage and the uncovered space being provided in the driveway. This concludes the introduction for this design review study item, and I'm available for questions of staff.
All right. Do we have any questions of staff on this item? I don't think we do. Then I'm going to open the public hearing. With the applicant, please come forward and state your name and anything else you'd like to add about your project.
Good evening, Commission. Tim Radines, project designer. In working with the owners, they have a young family, growing family. They needed an extra master bedroom and an extra bedroom. In reviewing with that, we decided to, there was talks of doing a 2nd-story project, but we know that this is going to be, this is going to be not controversial, but people will, it's mostly a 1-story neighborhood. There's a lot of split level type of homes from the 70s, 60s. So we kind of ended up on putting a 2nd-story addition with low plates towards the back, which won't really be seen all that much from the from street level. As you can see by the site plan, the backyard does have a pretty large hillside, and we're trying to kind of tuck this 2nd-story addition underneath it. So we will see tonight on how many neighbors come out and talk. The owners have kind of given the heads away that this is coming, and we'll see kind of what we're testing the waters really on what they're going to say. So I'm open for any comments. The house is kind of in its 70s charm yet, so it's pretty simple materials. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Are there any questions that we have? So I'm going to ask one. So keeping with the vegetation theme, on this, on your map, you have a one tree indicated in the back of the lot. I'm trying to, it did not say what it was going to be. And so I was wondering, let's see. It said, No, it's something like dramatic tree, or I don't know, it just didn't say what it was going to be. And I was wondering what you had in mind there.
Okay, there's a few there that are existing, and then there's a few more that we're going to that we'll be planting in. It'll be definitely a privacy tree of some sort. And on our next go through, we'll definitely, knowing now what I know, we'll make sure that every tree is shown and what it is.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, then Commissioner Say.
Yes, thanks. Tim, I was just wondering if you had considered rotating the roof profile on this second story roof 90 degrees so that
we could do that.
Okay, because dimensions are the same. It's almost like a square.
Yeah.
And I think from the front, it might look better, and I'll maybe even minimize any potential. I don't think you're blocking any views, but it would just look smaller from the street if it was oriented that way.
I think we could definitely do that. I don't think we're probably going to do a small vault in the ceiling, so I don't think it matters either way we go. So we'll make it work. But I think that's a good comment.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Commissioner Lowenthal.
Yeah, hi. Quick question. The overall width of the addition, how did you come up with where you decided to end that? Is it kind of lining up with the existing rear gable, or what? How did you come up with the dimensions here?
Well, they wanted to preserve some of the backyard. We're pushing back a small retaining wall that's there to give them a usable backyard yet. That's kind of where we came up with the square footage required. And it's, the master bedroom itself is a sizable bedroom. So it's mostly to preserve the backyard. We still wanted enough room. They have 3 young kids, so.
Okay, then are there, I think, Commissioner Say, did you have your hand still up? Commissioner Say, do you have another question? Oh, okay.
Acting Chair, we do have one public comment email.
Sure.
I'll go ahead and read that into the record. It states, hello, I'm the next door neighbor who's directly affected by the project. I'm concerned about the 2-story addition and encroachment over my property line for 2 feet. Their surveyor installed the stake on my property. How does this work? Are they going to have automatic approval to expand the property line based on the surveyor's report if they get an approval of the project? Please provide your comments and assistance over these concerns. My property dimension measures out to 72 feet per the county record. Christine Lee.
And Acting Chair Foff, there is also a second email that has come in. And actually now I'm looking at a third. So just for the record, we do read these emails as they come in. And then once the public hearing is closed, we do not read them until the next item comes up. So in this case, there has been another email received at 7:46 p.m. And I will read this one. And then there is another one that has come in at 9:07, which I will read after this. So this first one says, as a neighbor to the residents of 1829 Sebastian Drive, I believe the construction of a second story is disruptive to the immediate surrounding residents. 1, 1829 Sebastian Drive overlooks a significant bay view. The construction of a second story would obstruct the surrounding home's view. 2, the second story would invade my family's privacy by providing an uncomfortably close overhead view of my house's backyard. And this does not have a signature to it. The other email also is not signed. It says, question on the existing front elevation plan. Not sure if it matters, but the existing garage is currently located on the right side, not the left side, as the existing front elevation shows. The proposed second story addition is showing it will be located on the right side, which would be behind the existing garage. as of 9:11 p.m. Those are all of the emails that we have for this item.
Okay, so how do we then have asked Tim if he'd like to comment, or is that not, how do I do this then?
There were some questions in the email, so we would encourage the applicant could respond to those questions. We would prefer not to have rebuttals on the comments, but if you can at least provide the clarifying questions, that would be helpful.
You, just to clarify, Director Gardner, you'll send me the emails, I would assume?
Yes.
Okay, we'll definitely respond to them. We did reach out to them and there was really no response. So I kind of figured this is what was going to happen. So we'll reach out to them.
Can I just ask one thing about the property? Are the stakes actually put on the property line, or they put a couple feet away from the property line?
They're put in the exact spot of the property line, and there has been ongoing discussion about property lines there. So I don't think it really matters to us because we're actually off the setback 7 feet. So a foot here, a foot there, that's more of a neighbor issue, not really a design issue, because we're far enough back.
Oh, okay, very good. All right, so if there's nothing else, then I guess I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners' comments. All right, Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of issue with the addition towards the back. It doesn't necessarily impact the design of the front. I like the idea of rotating the roof. I think that's going to make a better look on that second story addition. I definitely agree that the neighbors need to work some things out with the applicant. I don't know that I see a hillside view blockage here because the properties behind have trees in front of them. So they're looking at trees. I don't see that anybody's actually going to see this design. So I think that it's really all about the neighbors on either side need to come to some discussion and be able to deal. I think that the landscape on the sides too, as you go further back, might need to be considered by the applicant on their side, that maybe they can do some screening using landscape back there that would help to minimize the impact of this second story addition to the neighbors' backyards. It looks like the neighbor on the right does have a pool back there, so it would be nice to, one, deal with the windows that are back there and be able to provide some landscape screening that helps with that. But otherwise, I didn't necessarily object to the addition or its placement. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Next, Commissioner Lowenthal.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo Commissioner Say's recommendation of turning the roof. I think that would be a very good, nice idea. And I would also recommend that we be provided 3D renderings. My original comment in the back, when you look at the rear elevation, it for some reason dimensionally, it just looks very, very tight and closed in. And it's in the rear, that doesn't bother me as much, but I'm just concerned about what that looks like in the front. So if we turn the roof and then give me a 3D rendering there, I feel like I could be in favor of this project.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Say.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think I have really anything to add. I agree with my fellow commissioners' comments. I think the neighbor to, and I appreciate if Tim and the homeowner or the homeowner would reach out to the neighbors. I think the neighbor to the right might be the one who is commenting about views out of the windows into their yard. From what I could see on the floor plan, it doesn't seem like there are any really good views out of any windows. On the second story, it looks like it might be a closet. I'm not sure if I'm reading the plan correctly, but it looks like it might be in the primary bedroom closet that those windows are facing the right neighbor. And then the neighbor to the left, of course, is quite a distance away since the addition is to the rear right side of the home. That I think a proposed rendering would be also helpful to understand kind of the mass and scaling of this addition in relationship to the current house. And probably the rendering, if it's presented from the rear or from side views, treating the rear as kind of the main perspective view would be most helpful to us, in addition to a front rendering. But I don't see that there's any view blockage issues that I can gather from visiting the site. And I think that the addition being pushed at the back is a good decision.
Okay, Commissioner Schmidt, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to tag on to what Commissioner Say was mentioning there. You know, from that second story master, it's a closet and it's a hallway from the stair that actually have windows facing the neighbor to the right. So I would encourage the applicant to maybe consider a translucent solution rather than a clear, and that might make that privacy concern go away. So, thanks.
Sure. All right. So are there any additional comments? No. All right, then that leaves us with, so this is just a study item. So we've given you a lot to think about. I think everybody had really useful comments. And so are we going to make a motion then to put this through to regular, or what do I do?
I'll make a motion to bring this project back on action.
Action, okay.
Second that motion.
All right, very good. Then may I have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Rand?
Aye.
Commissioner Lowenthal?
Aye.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Aye.
Commissioner Say?
Aye.
And Acting Chair Pfaff?
Aye. Okay, so that is a 5-0-0. Yes. Yay. Okay. Thank you very much. So that is not. Do I do the whole thing again about it?
No, that is not an appealable action.
Got it. Okay. Very good. And so are there any commissioner reports? Number 10, item number 10. Do we have any reports? Nope. Okay. And director's reports?
Let's see. We do not have any reportable actions from the last city council meeting regarding planning matters, and we do not have any FYIs this evening.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being patient with me struggling through this first time. A lot of moving parts. I appreciate it. So that's it. Then we're going to adjourn at 9:20 something. Yeah, 9:20. Yay. Thank you, everybody.
Great job.
Well done. Yeah.